Hello, dear friend. How are you? Thank you for this time you gave yourself to wind down for a peaceful slumber. Take a sip of water, put on your warm socks. Do whatever relaxes you. Take your time and settle down to your comfortable spot. Lie down flat on your back and place your arms beside you with palms facing upwards. Relax your shoulders. Soften the skin of your forehead, your jaw. Let out a smile. Let's take this time to be still and allow your thoughts to flow. Now, slowly bring your attention to your breath. Take a couple of deep breaths in and out. Listen to the sound of your breath and be present. Take a deep belly breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. Once more, take a deep breath in. Fill your belly, then your chest, and slowly exhale through the mouth. Soften anything that you may be clenching or holding in your body. Again, take a deep breath in and exhale slowly. One more time, take a generous breath in and a long breath out. Continue to deepen your breath at your own pace. Tonight, I will read to you excerpts from a book called Ikigai, The Japanese Secret to a Long and Happy Life by Hector Garcia and Francesc Morales. The Ikigai is the intersection of what you love, what the world needs, what you can be paid for, and what you're good at. The following are excerpts from the book Ikigai, The Art of Staying Young While Growing Old. What is your reason for being? According to the Japanese, everyone has an Ikigai. Some people have found their Ikigai, while others are still looking, though they carry it within them. Our Ikigai is hidden deep inside each of us, and finding it requires a patient search. According to those born On Okinawa, the island with the most centenarians in the world, our Ikigai is the reason we get up in the morning. Having a clearly defined Ikigai brings satisfaction, happiness, and meaning to our lives. The purpose of this book is to help you find yours and to share insights from Japanese philosophy on the lasting health of body, mind, and spirit. One surprising thing you notice living in Japan is how active people remain after they retire. In fact, many Japanese people never really retire. They keep doing what they love for as long as their health allows. There is, in fact, no word in Japanese that means retire in the sense of leaving the workforce for good, as in English. According to Dan Buettner, a National Geographic reporter who knows the country well, having a purpose in life is so important in Japanese culture that our idea of retirement simply doesn't exist there. Going with the flow. Imagine you're skiing down one of your favorite slopes. Powdery snow flies up on both sides of you like white sand. Conditions are perfect. You are entirely focused on skiing as well as you can. You know exactly how to move at each moment. There is no future, no past. There is only the present. You feel the snow, your skis, your body, and your consciousness united as a single entity. You are completely immersed in the experience, not thinking about or distracted by anything else. Your ego dissolves, and you become part of what you're doing. This is the kind of experience Bruce Lee described with his famous "Be water, my friend." We have all felt our sense of time vanish when we lose ourselves in an activity we enjoy. We start cooking, and before we know it, several hours have passed. We spend an afternoon with a book and forget about the world going by until we notice the sunset and realize we haven't eaten dinner. We go surfing and don't realize how many hours we have spent in the water until the next day when our muscles ache. The opposite can also happen when we have to complete a task we don't want to do. Every minute feels like a lifetime and we can't stop looking at our watch. As the quip attributed to Einstein goes, put your hand on a hot stove for a minute and it seems like an hour. Sit with a pretty girl for an hour and it seems like a minute. That is relativity. The funny thing is that someone else might really enjoy the same task, but we want to finish as quickly as possible. What makes us enjoy doing something so much that we forget about whatever worries we might have while we do it? When are we happiest? These questions can help us discover our Ikigai. The power of flow. These questions are also at the heart of psychologist Mihai Csikszentmihalyi's research into the experience of being completely immersed in what we are doing. Mihai called this state flow and described it as the pleasure, delight, creativity, and process when we are completely immersed in life. There is no magic recipe for finding happiness, for living according to your Ikigai, but one key ingredient is the ability to reach this state of flow and, through this state, to have an optimal experience. In order to achieve this optimal experience, we have to focus on increasing the time we spend on activities that bring us to this state of flow. Flow is a state in which people are so involved in an activity, nothing else seems to matter. The experience itself is so enjoyable that people will do it even at great cost for the sheer sake of doing it. But what happens to our mind when we are in that state? When we flow, we are focused on a concrete task without any distractions. Our mind is in order. The opposite occurs when we try to do something while our mind is on other things. If you often find yourself losing focus while working on something you consider important, there are several strategies you can employ to increase your chances of achieving flow. The 7 conditions for achieving flow. According to researcher Owen Schaefer of DePaul University, the requirements for achieving flow are: Number 1, knowing what to do. Number 2, knowing how to do it. Number 3, knowing how well you are doing. Number 4, knowing where to go. Number 5, perceiving significant challenges. Number 6, perceiving significant skills. And number 7, being free from distractions. Humans as ritualistic beings. Life is inherently ritualistic. We could argue that humans naturally follow rituals that keep us busy. In some modern cultures, we have been forced out of our ritualistic lives to pursue goal after goal in order to be seen as successful. But throughout history, humans have always been busy. We were hunting, cooking, farming, exploring, and raising families. Activities that were structured as rituals to keep us busy throughout our days. But in an unusual way, rituals still permeate daily life and business practices in modern Japan. The main religions in Japan, Confucianism, Buddhism, and Shintoism, are all ones in which the rituals are more important than absolute rules. When doing business in Japan, process, manners, and how you work on something is more important than the final results. Whether this is good or bad for the economy is beyond the scope of this book. What is indisputable, though, is that finding flow in a ritualistic workplace is much easier than in one which we are continually stressed out, trying to achieve unclear goals set by our bosses. Rituals give us clear rules and objectives, which help us enter a state of flow. When we have only a big goal in front of us, we might feel lost or overwhelmed by it. Rituals help us by giving us the process, the sub-steps on the path to achieving a goal. When confronted with a big goal, try to break it down into parts, and then attack each part one by one. Focus on enjoying your daily rituals, using them as tools to enter a state of flow. Don't worry about the outcome, it will come naturally. Happiness is in the doing, not in the result. As a rule of thumb, remind yourself, rituals over goals. The happiest people are not the ones who achieve the most. They are the ones who spend more time than others in a state of flow. Using flow to find your Ikigai. After reading this chapter, you should have a better idea of which activities in your life make you enter flow. Write all of them down on a piece of paper, then ask yourself these questions. What do the activities that drive you to flow have in common? Why do those activities drive you to flow? For example, are all the activities you most like doing are the ones that you practice alone or with other people? Do you flow more when doing things that require you to move your body or just to think? In the answers to these questions, you might find the underlying Ikigai that drives your life. If you don't, then keep searching by going deeper into what you like, by spending more of your time in the activities that make you flow. Also, try new things that are not on the list of what makes you flow, but that are similar and that you're curious about. For example, photography is something that drives you into flow. You could also try painting. You might even like it more. Or if you love snowboarding and have never tried surfing. Flow is mysterious. It is like a muscle. The more you train it, the more you will flow, and the closer you will be to your Ikigai. Once you discover your Ikigai, pursuing it and nurturing it every day will bring meaning to your life. The moment your life has this purpose, you will achieve a happy state of flow in all you do. Conclusion. Our Ikigai is different for all of us, but one thing we have in common is that we are all searching for meaning. When we spend our days feeling connected to what is meaningful to us, we live more fully. When we lose the connection, we feel despair. Modern life estranges us more and more from our true nature, making it very easy for us to lead lives lacking in meaning. Powerful forces and incentives, money, power, attention, success, distract us on a daily basis. Don't let them take over your life. Our intuition and curiosity are very powerful internal compasses to help us connect with our Ikigai. Follow those things you enjoy and get away from or change those you dislike. Be led by your curiosity and keep busy by doing things that fill you with meaning and happiness. It doesn't need to be a big thing. We might find meaning in being good parents or in helping our neighbors. There is no perfect strategy to connecting with our Ikigai. But what we learned from the Okinawans is that we should not worry too much about finding it. Life is not a problem to be solved. Just remember to have something that keeps you busy, doing what you love, while being surrounded by the people who love you. The 10 Rules of Ikigai. We'll conclude this journey with 10 rules we've distilled from the wisdom of the long-living residents of Okimi. Number 1. Stay active. Don't retire. Those who give up the things they love doing and do well lose their purpose in life. That's why it's so important to keep doing things of value, making progress, bringing beauty or utility to others, helping out and shaping the world around you, even after your official, professional activity has ended. Number 2, take it slow. Being in a hurry is inversely proportional to quality of life. As the old saying goes, walk slowly and you'll go far. When we leave urgency behind, life and time take on new meaning. Number 3, don't fill your stomach. Less is more when it comes to eating for life too. According to the 80% rule, in order to stay healthier longer, we should eat a little less than our hunger demands, instead of stuffing ourselves. Number 4, surround yourself with good friends. Friends are the best medicine. Therefore, confiding worries over a good chat, sharing stories that brighten your day, getting advice, having fun, dreaming. In other words, living. Number 5, get in shape for your next birthday. Water moves. It is at its best when it flows fresh and doesn't stagnate. The body you move through life in needs a bit of daily maintenance to keep it running for a long time. Plus, exercise releases hormones that make us feel happy. Number 6, smile. A cheerful attitude is not only relaxing, it also helps make friends. It's good to recognize the things that aren't so great, but we should never forget what a privilege it is to be in the here and now in a world so full of possibilities. Number 7, reconnect with nature. Though most people live in the cities these days, human beings are made to be part of the natural world. We should return to it often to recharge our batteries. Number 8, give thanks to your ancestors, to nature, which provides you with the air you breathe and the food you eat, to your friends and family, to everything that brightens your days and makes you feel lucky to be alive. Spend a moment every day giving thanks, and you'll watch your stockpile of happiness grow. Number 9, live in the moment. Stop regretting the past and fearing the future. Today is all you have. Make the most of it. Make it worth remembering. Number 10, follow your Ikigai. There is a passion inside you, a unique talent that gives meaning to your days and drives you to share the best of yourself until the very end. If you don't know what your Ikigai is yet, as Viktor Frankl says, your mission is to discover it. The authors of this book wish you a long, happy, and purposeful life. Thank you for joining us. The new year always offers a fresh beginning with renewed energy and willingness to actually do some of the plans we think we want to achieve. Planning for a full new year may be daunting, but it doesn't have to be, especially when what we write are not just wishes, but something that are rooted from the heart and are aligned with God. Have you asked God what it is that He wants you to do with Him? My favorite devotional podcaster, Pamela Krim, reminds us to first ask ourselves these 7 questions before writing down any goal. She advises to answer these through dreaming and communing with God. Question number 1. God, who did you create me to be? 2. God, where am I living below my potential? 3. God, what do you have available for me? 4. God, what truth do you want me to know? 5. God, where do you want me to change? 6. God, what do you want me to give up? 7. God, what awesome things can we do together? I know this is quite a lot, but let's take this time to dream away. God hints at His purpose for you by planting dreams within your heart. As Paulo Coelho in The Alchemist says, to realize one's destiny is a person's only obligation. One way to realize this desire God planted is to stay still. Listen to your heart. Let it guide you. What is your heart trying to tell you right now? Let's take this time to tap into that by putting your left hand over your heart and your right hand over your belly. Take a couple of deep breaths in and out through the mouth. One more deep breath in, hold, and out. Imagine your heart beating slowly, gently, consistently. Nourish your heart with your breath as you take one more deep breath in and out. Once more, take a deep breath in and feel your right hand rise and fall as you exhale. Take a deep breath in and out. Three times more. Take a deep belly breath in. Hold. And out. this time, take the fullest breath you took all day. Hold. And out. If what your heart is trying to tell you not clear yet, that's okay. You can always go back and tap into your heart whenever, wherever you want. For now, let's be reminded of God's words that tell us about His dreams for us. In Jeremiah chapter 29, verse 11, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." Matthew 6, verse 33, "But seek first His kingdom and His righteousness, and all these things will be given to you as well." Proverbs 16, verse 3, "Commit to the Lord whatever you do, and He will establish your plans." Philippians chapter 4, verse 13, "I can do all this through Him who gives me strength." Psalm 37, verse 4, "Delight yourself in the Lord, and He will give you the desires of your heart." Proverbs chapter 16, verse 9, "The heart of man plans his way, but the Lord establishes his steps." Habakkuk chapter 2, verses 2 to 3, "And the Lord answered me, write the vision, make it plain on tablets, so he may run who reads it. For still the vision awaits its appointed time. It hastens to the end. It will not lie. If it seems slow, wait for it. It will surely come. It will not delay." Psalm 20, verse 4, "May He grant you your heart's desire and fulfill all your plans." Proverbs chapter 19, verse 21, "Many are the plans in the mind of a man, but it is the purpose of the Lord that will stand." Ecclesiastes 5, verse 7, "For when dreams increase and words grow many, there is vanity, but God is the one you must fear." Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 7, "Blessed is the man who trusts in the Lord, whose trust is the Lord." Romans chapter 8, verse 28, "And we know that for those who love God, all things work together for good, for those who are called according to His purpose." Philippians chapter 4, verse 8, "Finally, brothers, whatever is true, whatever is honorable, whatever is just, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is commendable, if there is any excellence, if there is anything worthy of praise, think about these things. James chapter 4, verse 13 to 15. Come now, you who say, today or tomorrow we will go into such and such town and spend a year there and trade and make a profit. Yet you do not know what tomorrow will bring. What is your life? For you are a mist that appears for a little time and then vanishes. Instead, you ought to say, if the Lord wills, we will live and do this or that. Philippians chapter 3, verse 14. I press on toward the goal for the prize of the upward call of God in Christ Jesus.